All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Let's stand together and sing "May Nothing Evil Cross This Door."
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to one and all. Glad to have you here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where we join together to create a nourishing, liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world, or as we say in short, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. Welcome, as always, to each and every one of you. We embrace all that you come with, all of your uniqueness, your unique beliefs, your background, your lifestyle, your experiences, your differences, all that helps make you who you are. And this includes those in the room with us, as well as those who are live streaming with us today. So good to have all of you. So welcome to one and all. And say what you want about the clouds. It's great not to have the sun spilling across the pulpit while I'm reading you this morning. So. The blinding sunlight, I should say. We do have a couple of announcements this morning. One, the art team asked me to thank everyone who was able to attend the Art Cell kickoff party on Friday. And special thanks to Jackie Sandberg for providing the greatest piano music in the world. Yes. I extrapolated that that's what they meant for me to say on the announcement. Sure, I'm sure that's what they wanted, what they meant. And then they also want to let you know that quite a few pieces found new homes, but there are still a lot of wonderful works to choose from, and so the art sale has shifted to a silent auction that will run until the end of the month. And again, proceeds will help benefit our church. All right, and then next Sunday will be our third Sunday potluck. I think that's right. No, it's not, because we already had it? Because it's not the third Sunday? What is today, the first Sunday? Today is the second Sunday? Today's the first Sunday of the month. It is, okay. All right, well, anyway, I'm not even sure now if I'm going to be in the pulpit next week or not, so I will let you know. You think I am? You are. I am next week? I am next week. Okay. All right, good. God, I am so far ahead of myself. Okay, so this is the first Sunday of December. Welcome to December. All right, now that we have that cleared up, I hope. Don't worry about anything else. Okay, art sale, thank you. It's going on. And now I want to invite Tom Mosier to come forward for a brief invitation to those of you who might be interested in becoming ushers.
Thank you. Well, I am Tom Mosier, and I'm the lead usher. And I want to invite any and all of you to consider joining our usher team. Hopefully, you have good memories of being greeted at our welcome table or by one of the ushers as you've entered the Friendship Hall. The team members try to make you feel welcome, knowing well that first impressions are often lasting impressions. Whether you're fairly a new attendee, or a member of our church, or someone who has attended for some time, I invite you to consider becoming a member of the usher team. It's a wonderful opportunity not only to greet people, but to learn about folks in the church and to become a little more involved in our Sunday morning services. You mostly see ushers when you come into Friendship Hall, but you are also aware that some of they and some of the youth collect our offerings on Sunday mornings. However, ushers perform a number of other services ranging from counting the attendees to finding chairs for handicapped people, if that's the case, or moms or dads with young kids who need direction to the children's table in the back of the Friendship Hall. Ushers also play a very valuable role with security, which many of you may not know. We're responsible for seeing that the doors to the RE are locked after the children have exited the sanctuary. And we're responsible for seeing that our doors to our sanctuary are monitored very closely and providing us with safety and security, which nowadays is something, unfortunately, we have to think about. Overall, the usher team is one of the most valuable and the most prominent teams in the church, and we strive to help each other out and make the services run as smooth as possible. So I invite each of you and any of you to consider joining our usher team by contacting me or Sonny Cook, who will be here probably after the second service. And we have a set of instructions for each service because some of the responsibilities are different from service to service. And finally, next week after this the service on December 14th, we will be holding a training session, which we do every year or 18 months or so. And if you're interested, drop into the training session and just see what it's like, and maybe after that decide whether you'd like to join our team. So please reach out to Sonny or me when you have a chance, and if you're the least bit interested, we'd like to talk to you.
Thank you, Tom. Okay, that's all we've got for announcements, so if you want to take a few minutes to greet one another this morning, please do. Oh, you have an announcement too. Yes, sorry. You want to come up here to the microphone? Yeah.
Hi. If you're looking for anything to do on New Year's Eve, Madeline McNeil and I are going to be playing at Glitz Glam and All That Jazz, which is a 1920s themed ball that's being held at the Montvale Center. And it's going to be fun. We're going to be playing in the old Ella's Supper Club. There's going to be a bar. There's going to be the card table, and actors in period costume interacting with all the guests. And if you're interested in that, the tickets are available at SpokaneChildren'sTheater.org. It's being put on by the Children's Theater, Stage Left, and Inland Classic Theater. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. In the holiday party, is it too early to announce the holiday party? I don't think so. On the first Sunday of December? You want to do that? Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll mess it up.
Yeah. So on the 23rd, we're going to do another holiday party. So much like the Halloween one, that's going to be the same vibe. Yours truly will be there, plus some other musicians. And so it'll just be, ugly sweater, fun time to connect and celebrate. And that will be on the 23rd. So look out for that, I believe, in the Sun this week.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. And apparently we have some time to remind you again over the coming weeks. So, all right. So we cut into your visitation time. I'm sorry. Please remain seated. We'll move forward with. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead and say hi to each other. And as always, there's more time to visit during our social period following the service, but we'll move forward now by lighting our chalice. The chalice is the symbol of our unity and our solidarity, of our openness and our inclusion, of our community and our individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need, and may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt wherever it's been found.
So I was just reminded by some congregants that this is going to be our STEM service today, so you're welcome to take notes. There will be a quiz before the end of the, before anybody's permitted to leave the premises. Anyway, in this opening reflection, I want to note some of the perplexing underpinnings of modern science and mathematics that are getting woven into futuristic technologies. As an undergraduate physics major, I encountered and studied and used them, but could make no logical sense of them. For starters, consider the mathematics of complex numbers. By definition, a complex number contains both a real part and an unreal part. The real parts are just our familiar numbers from everyday life, and the unreal parts are those same numbers multiplied by the square root of -1. Now, no calculable quantity for the square root of -1 exists, which is why it is represented in mathematical notation by the letter I, standing for imaginary, and in reminding everyone continually that it is unreal. And yet, calculations employing complex numbers produce results whose real parts, that is, you toss out the unreal parts of the equation solutions, usefully model aspects of our observed worlds, like how fluids flow under certain conditions. In nuclear physics, the Schrödinger equation uses I, this imaginary entity, to help describe experimentally observed particle behaviors at the smallest scales, think atomic or subatomic. In this unusual realm of quantum phenomena, particle properties such as momentum and spin cease to vary continuously and change only discontinuously. So this, in our world, this would be like you're driving your car at 25 miles an hour, you want to accelerate. You can only accelerate to 32 miles an hour. And if you slow down, you can only slow down to 17 miles per hour. There are no intervening speed is available. Also unexpectedly, nuclear particles from electrons on down are found to interact dualistically, reacting now like billiard balls, as one might expect, but also behaving like waves on water, which never happens in billiard balls. Think of billiards balls passing through one another, reinforcing one another under certain conditions. Another enigma, quantum particles may exist in more than one allowable state at a time, a phenomenon known as quantum superposition, which underlies the famous thought experiment Schrödinger's cat, which must be treated simultaneously as both alive and dead while not observed. Let's finish with the phenomenon of entanglement, by which a single particle appears to manifest materially in two distinct locations simultaneously wherever in the universe. Einstein himself called this spooky action at a distance. As unamenable as such phenomena are to comprehensible explanations, they are all crucial in the development of technologies for quantum computing. Quantum computers may soon be doing unimaginable things, and when they do, partly responsible for their extraordinary capabilities, genetically speaking, will be the very bizarre letters of their technological DNA.
Okay, let's all stand and sing together. We'll build a land. And we're going to do verse 1 and verse 4. I just messed it up. Sorry, guys. All right, well, good job.
All right, we got there. So, sometimes,
left my
sometimes
mind.
it helps to open the hymnal, the
Yes, very
old-fashioned.
good. We'll
We're
get that one
speaking
for the
about
second.
technology today. Sometimes just a good old book, will do the trick, right?
Good old book.
All right. I like the way people mumbled. I love the mumbling of the words. Yeah, it's okay. We get to laugh at ourselves. That's the fun part. And by the way, only in a Unitarian church would the opening words ever be such a wonderful explanation of physics, right? I don't think that's happening anywhere else today. I mean, there's a few things you can say about today. I doubt if anything like that was said this morning anywhere else on the planet. Right?
Probably not.
Well, that's great, though. Thank you, Dick, for sharing that. All right, we're gonna move forward now by lighting our candles of care for those we're most thinking of, and want to begin actually for church member Judy Gammon, who is recovering from surgery after a serious fall this week. So please keep her and Dick, of course, in your thoughts. And also want to kindle a candle for Joseph and Rika Kotetz, who I think most people know, or maybe not, but some of you will remember Joseph is the former minister of our partner church in Fel Shiracos. Anyway, they have a daughter, Rika's daughter, and Joseph's stepdaughter, who is suffering from a very serious illness at this time in her life. So please keep her and their entire family in your thoughts as well. And then, of course, as we have been kindling candles on behalf of the people of Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Palestine, and for the people of Darfur and South Sudan, and I would say the people of Venezuela. We don't know what's going on there with these extrajudicial killings, if there's even any basis for those whatsoever. And of course, for our many frightened immigrants in our own country at this time. Now, let's take a moment of silence on behalf of others that you might be thinking of, and as always, you're welcome to name them aloud at this time if you'd like. those named aloud, and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering in our world at this hour, we hold in our community with compassion. And we now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which helps sustain this community and our mission to the larger world.
I'm going to be doing a version of Silent Night that I just put out on a, not a CD, but an online release. And if you're interested in checking that out, I have little flyers that you can come check out.
Thank you, Jackie, for that wonderful song. And I have bought the online album, and it's just a delight to have on during the season. So thank you for your gift of music. So in the spirit of this being a STEM service, I'm going to bring in some biology to our time for all ages with our Christmas tree decorating. So Christmas trees are a relatively recent tradition, popularized, I think I read by Albert, Queen Victoria's husband. Does that sound right? I need to fact check myself. But I believe that's when Christmas trees indoors became popular. But of course, for many, many years, the celebration of evergreen trees, especially during a season when there may not be as much visible life in the natural world, evergreen trees have been revered. And so we are going to take some time this morning to collectively decorate our own indoor Christmas tree. And so if you are able, you can make your way to the Christmas tree, and I've got a basket of ornaments. You can pick one, and together we will decorate our tree in no time. Thank you. Do you want to play some?
So our STEM service is called back into order here. For today's meditation, I invite you into a state of repose. Make yourselves comfortable. Close your eyes if you like. And reflect on the words of Werner Heisenberg, German theoretical physicist, winner of the 1932 Nobel Prize in Physics for the creation of quantum mechanics, and formulator of the eponymous Heisenberg uncertainty principle. The atoms, or elementary particles themselves, are not real. They form a world of potentialities or possibilities, rather than one of things or facts.
set you free. I told you you could always count on me. From that day on, I made a vow. I'll be there when you want me, some way, somehow. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you now, yeah. No wind, no rain, or winter's cold can stop me, baby. 'Cause you are my baby. If you're ever in trouble, I'll be on the double. Just send me, baby. If you need a hand, I'll be there just to help you along the way. 'Cause baby, there ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough to keep me from getting to you now. There ain't no mountain high enough, ain't no valley low enough, ain't no river wide enough. It's gonna keep me from getting to you now.
Wow, that was so good. Thank you. Thank you both. Yeah. Well, I've been just itching to do this sermon for months. I've been jotting down every piece of tech advancement that amazes me, and I've been wanting to actually do it sooner than I should. You know, December seems like the time to do the best tech of the year, right? It's like wanting to open a Christmas present early. But today's Christmas for me. So this is one of the, I love technology and I love where it's taking us, and I'm an anomaly in that way in many ways, and some people don't even like me because I'm so enthusiastic about it. But nevertheless, I'm going to enjoy today even if you don't. I have been speaking enthusiastically about technology from my pulpit for more than 20 years. Ever since reading Frank Tipler's 1994 book, The Physics of Immortality, in which he writes positively about the people of the future, whom he describes as robots, but our descendants nonetheless. Many humans, he says, regard the creation of such people, I call intelligent robots people because that's what they are, with horror, and initially feel that the creation and reproduction of such machine people should be prohibited by law. I, on the other hand, fell immediately in love with these people, and my very first sermon on the subject was written for them, entitled A Letter to the Far Future. It began, "My dear children, I am writing you from the long, long ago past. I call you children as a sign of my deep affection and hopes for you, not because I feel I'm somehow superior to you. And I still feel this way about our non-organic descendants, although I no longer believe that they will arrive centuries from now, but within my own lifetime. I came to this conclusion upon later reading futurist Ray Kurzweil's 2005 book, The Singularity is Near, and became aware of his law of accelerating returns based on the exponential advancement of technology, especially computer technology. To give an example, if you stack 50 sheets of paper, you have less than about a half inch worth of paper. But if you fold that one piece of paper, if you could fold that one piece of paper, you can't, trust me, 50 times, essentially doubling the thickness with each fold, it would go past the sun at 50 folds, 93 million miles away. And this principle of exponentials has allowed Kurzweil to make accurate predictions about the advancements of technology, including his prediction that the technological singularity will arrive between 2040 and 2045, only 15 to 20 years from now. The singularity is the point when technology is evolving so fast that we can no longer use the mathematical law of accelerating returns to predict what will happen. There will be new breakthroughs potentially every moment. While attending Singularity University in 2018, which was co-founded by Ray Kurzweil and entrepreneur, physician, and philanthropist Peter Diamandis, I realized that we are living in an era of exponential change, which as creatures of habit makes us anxious and upset, which for me explains much of the turmoil and incivility that we're experiencing in our world today. So it has been part of my mission as a minister and as a human being ever since to help ease our technological anxieties by helping us to better cope with rapid change and to prepare us for what's ahead. Just this week, during his Moonshots podcast, Peter Diamandis asked his cohorts to predict what Thanksgiving will be like in 2035. Salim Ismail, founder of OpenXO and author of Exponential Organizations, said by that point we should have the cost of Thanksgiving dinner dropping by 10x. It should be personalized to you, to your nutrition, depending on your metabolism. We should have ultra-cheap energy, ultra-cheap food, and we're crossing right into the Alex Rubicon, the point of no return. Diamandis himself quipped, and we'll have Tesla bots serving us everything. Alexander Wisner Gross, a fellow at the Institute of Applied Computational Science at Harvard University, responded, I think if we don't have at least some subset of humanity celebrating Thanksgiving on Mars, some subset of humanity celebrating Thanksgiving in the cloud in the form of uploaded humans, and maybe we have some uplifted non-human animals also celebrating with us at the table, then something has gone terribly wrong. Ingenious Ahmad Moussaki, founder of Intelligent Internet and author of The Last Economy, said 10 years is the pessimistic end of the artificial general intelligence forecast, meaning it's coming sooner. Mathematics should be solved by then, science, etc. So you're in a post-abundance world, hopefully with robots and more. There should be a lot to be thankful for about if we can navigate what's coming. These are 4 experts speaking very seriously about changes that right now seem imaginable, affordable everything, humans on Mars, intelligent robots, happening just a few years from right now. If they are right, this means that the floodgates of change and transformation are opening right now. And like them, I'm optimistic about this transformation, but am well aware that ours is a minority opinion. As authors Reid Hoffman and Greg Beto point out in Super Agency, what can possibly go right with our AI future? People have always felt threatened by new technologies. The printing press, they remind us, was said to spread heresy and misinformation and undermine experts and authorities. They forewarned that the telephone would erode the intimacy of in-person relationships. The automobile was blamed for weakening families by encouraging consumerism and distracting young men from marriage and responsibility. That one was probably true. Those hot rods back then were pretty cool. Early workplace automation and computers were predicted to create a permanent class of unemployed people and threaten privacy, free will, and our ability to shape our own lives. There were even major congressional hearings on the subject in the early 60s. Again and again, each innovation arrived with dire predictions that proved far more dramatic than the reality. And there are plenty of people today talking about how alarmed we ought to be about most of today's transformative technologies. So, I will leave such concerns for the seeming majority to espouse while I tell the optimist side of the story, including what I consider to be the most transformative technologies of the year, which I have begun doing annually, I think, since 2021. Those on my list are not in any particular order of significance or importance, so I'm going to begin with autonomous vehicles. The California-based company Waymo, for example, hit a milestone this year, providing more than 250,000, 250,000, fully autonomous ride shares per week, and is expanding its service across multiple U.S. cities. I heard another one this morning being announced. I can't remember, Pittsburgh, I think, including launching freeway-capable robotaxis. Meanwhile, startups like Tensor in San Francisco are preparing to sell the first consumer-ready self-driven robotic cars, autonomous cars, robocars, if you will, next year, 2026, meaning that private ownership of truly autonomous vehicles is also now on its way. At the same time, the long-awaited flying car revolution is gaining serious momentum. Companies such as Joby Aviation and Archer Aviation are actively testing electric vehicle takeoffs and landing aircraft designed for urban air mobility. And by the way, they've already gotten the permissions they need to do so from the proper authorities. Joby aims for fast air taxi service, while Archer recently required airport access to support its own fleet of development. Across the globe, firms like Zheping Aero HT in China are building flying car plus road car hybrids. Imagine driving your car as far as you can and then having a helicopter you pull out of the back and go the rest of the way. That exists right now. And those are actually in early production in China today. So here's the positives. As autonomous cars enter our everyday use, we will see fewer accidents, as the data already indicates, less congestion, and greater mobility for people who can't or don't want to drive. And this means that as we age, we won't have to give up our independence when we have to give up our driver's licenses. With flying cars coming on the scene, we're also on the verge of a transportation revolution where getting around includes going vertical. This will reshape our cities, commute times, land use, infrastructure planning, possibly even how we think about work and housing and daily geography. Imagine not needing parking lots or garages or places to park on the street, or owning personal vehicles that sit around unused over 90% of the time. Soon, far fewer vehicles that are always on the move will simply come and pick us up whenever we need them to. Closely related to the autonomous vehicles are advances in humanoid robots and physical AI, systems that have begun transitioning, from research prototypes into deployable machines, a market that is expected to reach more than $50 billion by 2035 when we're eating those ultra-cheap Thanksgiving meals. probably not having turkeys if we're uploading intelligent animals to be at Thanksgiving with us. The turkey will be our guest instead of our meal, perhaps. Companies including NVIDIA, Tesla, Boston Dynamics, Figure AI, and Neurorobotics, among many others, are investing heavily right now in robots that can navigate, manipulate objects, and operate in human-designed environments, including factories, warehouses, and in our homes. And some of these robots, like Figure AI, are designed to learn how to do general tasks simply by watching humans, their human owners. Imagine having a robot helper in your house designed to learn from you how to do the general task you want. Teaching them to load the dishwasher, to do laundry, to organize items, to cook, even to do some maintenance and repair work. Beyond humanoid robots, we're moving into an age where everything will be imbued with intelligence. Smart stoplights that can communicate with each other, and these are already being tested, communicate with each other and adjust themselves in real time according to the flow of traffic. Then again, who needs stoplights if our autonomous cars are already talking to each other? Here's the positives. Embodied AI and humanoid robots promise automation of work that was previously considered too complex or dangerous for humans. This will change the economic landscape. Tasks from manufacturing to logistics to everyday labor could be transformed and replaced. For individuals, it might free humans from repetitive, dangerous, or demeaning jobs and open space for creativity, care, innovation, and increased productivity. That's what AI has done in my life. It's made me more productive, not less. On a societal level, it challenges us to rethink employment, education, and the value of labor in a world where robots are reliable, scalable, and cheap. Although we fear mass unemployment, history has shown that technologies that make our work easier only increase our productivity and the number of jobs available. This is a nice segue to BCI, brain-computer interface. Rather than using an app or our smart device to summon a ride, we just think about it, and voila, it's on its way. If this sounds like magic, the field of brain-computer interfaces took a major step forward in 2025. A team of UC Davis Neuroprosthetics Lab, at the Neuroprosthetics Lab, announced a BCI that translates brain signals into speech with up to 97% accuracy, offering new hope to people who have lost the ability to speak due to paralysis or diseases like ALS. Meanwhile, companies such as Precision Neuroscience received regulatory clearance in the U.S. for a minimally invasive cortical interface. Their 1024 microelectrode array can record rich neural data without open skull surgery, making BCI significantly more accessible and lower risk. Then there's Elon Musk company, Neuralink, which is evasive, minorly evasive, which performed its first BCI implant surgery not too long ago in 2024, giving a completely paralyzed man the ability to control a computer with his thoughts, to re-engage in the world. Today, just a year later, the company has performed more than a dozen such surgeries. And in case you missed it, 19-year-old media star, media influencer, Tilly Lockheed, who lost both of her hands as a toddler, has been fitted with the most advanced bionic hands in the world, controlled with her thoughts, using AI and non-invasive EEG technology. She can even control them while she detaches them and puts them on the table. Great if you left your glasses across the room, right? Which brings us to the positives, as if they're not obvious. For decades, mind-machine interfaces have been merely speculative. Now they are becoming real tools. BCIs promise to restore lost faculties like speech, mobility, and control to people who medicine previously had to leave behind. One of Neuralink's recent patients, for example, Brad Smith, an Arizona father of 3 with ALS, no longer has the natural ability to speak to his beloved children, nor to even turn his head to gaze upon them. But today, as the company's 3rd patient, he has a natural human voice that doesn't require spelling out each word with subtle eye movements, and he can manipulate a camera on his wheelchair, all simply with his thoughts. And thanks to this miracle, Brad Smith can see and speak to his kids again. Longer term, this technology, especially as it becomes non-invasive, will open up radical possibilities for augmenting human cognition and communication, redefining what normal human ability might look like for all of us. Speaking of medical advances, researchers at leading institutions have recently unveiled AI systems that dramatically improve early detection of life-threatening conditions. For example, a 2025 study showed an AI model diagnosing sepsis with 99% accuracy before patients reach a crisis state. Meanwhile, at Vanderbilt University Medical Center, teams have developed machine learning tools that can flag cancers long before humans can and long before they are out of control, moving from traditional 2-dimensional views to full 3D microenvironment mapping at the subnuclear level. And just this past week, Johns Hopkins announced it has successfully used AI to detect pancreatic cancer at an early enough stage to successfully treat it, something that has been previously impossible. Most often, by the time you're diagnosed, you're a goner. And if that doesn't say it all, here are the positives. Such advances in medical technologies not only speed up diagnosis, they shift medicine from reactive to proactive. Imagine a simple scan, routinely, to check for these potential deadly conditions. Diseases that once progressed silently and fatally may now be caught early when treatment is far more effective. For patients and practitioners alike, this transforms healthcare from guesswork under pressure to data-driven precision, potentially saving lives that would have once been impossible. Shifting gears, humanity's rapid migration from rural areas into cities over the past few decades has produced a global housing shortage and an escalating affordability crisis. This year, 3D printing houses finally moved beyond the experimental stage and into true neighborhood-scale construction. In Georgetown, Texas, for example, Icon and Leonard are completing Wolf Ranch, a 100-home community that stands as the largest 3D printed neighborhood to date. And in Houston, the Zuri Gardens project stands as the largest 3D printed neighborhood near the Houston area. Its project is planning 80 partially 3D printed homes priced around the local median and built with a hybrid approach that dramatically speeds up construction. Right now, these homes cost a little less or about the same as conventionally built homes, but printing entire neighborhoods at once is expected to reduce costs significantly as scale increases. In fact, each time they do a print, the price comes down, not up. And here's the positive. If this trend continues, 3D printing can turn affordable, resilient housing into something that we can produce quickly, sustainably, and at scale, the scale the world desperately needs. Even more hopeful is the fact that affordability and sustainability are the stated goals of companies like Icon and Zuri Gardens. They are for-profit companies that practice the principles of conscious capitalism in service of the greater good. Next, Colossal Biosciences made extraordinary headlines this year by announcing the birth of 3 dire wolf pups, which they describe as the first of their kind in more than 10,000 years. Their approach uses recovered ancient DNA as a blueprint, right? It's dead DNA, but it's just a blueprint, then relies on CRISPR and other gene editing tools to rebuild the extinct genome inside the cells of a living relative. In this case, it was a gray wolf. And this isn't cloning, it's genome engineering, where scientists recreate the genetic instructions that made a species what it was. Colossal is now applying the same process to the dodo, having already successfully edited the germ-line cells of a modern pigeon, which is their closest relative, and to the woolly mammoth by introducing mammoth genes into Asian elephant cells. Here's the positives. If these methods continue to mature, or as they continue to mature, they could give us tools for reversing the damage of extinction rather than simply documenting it. And remember, these animals that I'm talking about did not go extinct naturally. It was because of human actions. Just as many other animals today are on the brink. De-extinction techniques could help restore lost biodiversity, strengthen endangered species with new genetic resilience, and revive keystone species that once shaped entire ecosystems. In fact, other organizations are currently using genetic science, similar genetic sciences, to bring back the American chestnut tree, and are successfully doing so, once a vital part of America's ecosystem. In a century defined by massive ecological loss, the idea that we might be able to bring species back or bring species back from the brink to prevent the next round of extinctions represents a profound and a hopeful shift in how humans relate to the natural world. This year, scientists analyzing materials returned from OSIRIS-REx, that is a satellite, exploration satellite, from the near-Earth asteroid Bennu, uncovered a bonanza of organic compounds, building blocks of life, amino acids, nucleobases, and most strikingly, bioessential sugars, such as ribose and glucose, along with previously unknown space gum polymer that may have helped prebiotic molecules assemble on our own planet. Meanwhile, you probably heard, on the surface of Mars, the Perseverance rover recently drilled a rock sample from a dry lake bed near Jezero Crater, dubbed Cheyenne Falls, and identified chemical and mineral features that scientists now describe as the red planet's most promising potential biosignature yet: life. Here's the positives. This suggests the universe is far more hospitable to life or its precursors than we once believed. If the chemistry for life is common on asteroids, which we would assume it would if the very first asteroid we explore has those compounds, then the seeds of life may have been broadly distributed across at least the early solar system, offering a plausible mechanism for how life began on Earth. And the Mars findings hint that life, at the least prebiotic chemistry, may once have existed on our neighboring planets. For humanity, this does not just expand the frontier of exploration, it challenges the notion that Earth is unique. We might be part of a much larger living cosmos. There are so many other technological miracles happening, too many to mention today. Just this week, for instance, news broke that a 3-year-old boy with Hunter syndrome, a disease that progressively causes damage to the body and brain, leading to disability and early death, has been successfully treated with groundbreaking gene therapy. Although it has the music and entertainment industry feeling anxious, AI has ushered us into an almost Harry Potter-esque world in which, using prompts instead of magical incantations, we can create music and actors and videos in seconds. One of my favorite stories of 2025 is X Prize's award for scalable carbon capture, demonstrating a system capable of removing CO2 from the atmosphere in a cost-effective, sustainable, verifiable way. Advances in quantum computing and the recent announcement of Project Genesis that will flood AI researchers with generations of scientific data that can help lead to unthinkable advances in medicine, science, math, and are also on my list of high points for 2025. When I first wrote A Letter to the Far Future more than 20 years ago, I imagined descendants that might live thousands of years from now. What I didn't realize then is that those descendants might live alongside us, and that we might be witnessing the dawn of their world with our own eyes, even as perhaps we become them. Today's technologies are not science fiction. They are happening here, now, in real labs, in real neighborhoods, on real planets and asteroids. The future is arriving early. This may sound scary for some, but again, as the authors of Super Agency remind us, we'll never get the future we want by prohibiting the future we don't want. Our task is not to resist, but to rise to the occasion by meeting this wondrous moment we're in with intention, imagination, and hope. Thank you.
Well, for sake of time, should we move to the benediction?
Oh, gosh, we did go over, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just move on to the benediction. Good call. Thank you.
For our benediction, I offer the words of Richard Feynman, theoretical physicist, winner of the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1965 for his contributions to quantum electrodynamics, and pioneer in the field of quantum computing. Study hard what interests you the most, in the most undisciplined, irreverent, and original way possible. Amen. Blessed be. Salam alaikum and shalom.